Hey guys, Jordan Markle here. It's been a while since I did some videos lately. I just been busy with regionals and stuff, just been testing. Haven't been doing too much content, but I'm going to try and get back into a rhythm of doing some, mainly deck profiles and stuff like that. It's what I enjoy doing, and I'll just keep doing it if, people like it. But anyway, decided to do a video here on a tournament I went to this past weekend. It was a DMV circuit event, which DC, Maryland, Virginia area, they all got stores together and they're going to do like a mini circuit, like 7 tournaments, 7 Dragon Balls. This was the second one. But anyway, I got top 8 and then we split top 8. So I was just going to do deck profile on the deck I played. The errata for Mecha Frieza was in effect. I know it was a few weeks early, but they have made it in effect for all the circuit events because the meta with Mecha Frieza in there just wasn't fun. So, I mean, it was good. I think they're going to get more people to play, and that's what the format's going to be going forward. So it's just a good, tournament to test with for upcoming events like Connecticut, New Jersey, some of the ARG events that are coming up, even Gen Con. I'm not sure. There might be another set there for Gen Con, so I think Connecticut might be the only one before the new stuff comes out. But either way, still good testing tournament to test at if you're going to Connecticut. And the deck I played was Mecha Frieza. I still played it because I think it's still pretty good, and I think it more fits my playstyle now than it did before. Before it was like hyper aggressive, play as many extras on your turn, and then go at them. Now it's like you got to play extra cards on your opponent's turn, and that's the only way you can use it. And it's once per turn on the front side. On the back side, it's as many times as you want, but it's only on your opponent's turn, which is more like how I like playing the game, or any game for that matter. I like playing control decks, so it just fit my playstyle a little bit more, and it's still a good deck. And it's green-yellow, Mecha Veggies, just slightly different because of the errata. So I'm going to get into it here. Just got to adjust my camera here so everybody can see. Got Ultimate Guard here. One of our sponsors here, Kitchen Table Meta. But yeah, shout out to Ultimate Guard, MetaMats, and Super Collectibles, all great sponsors. Everybody's fantastic. Couldn't be more happy with the team. Everybody's awesome. Every time we go to tournaments, it's great to interact with people, like both decks with each other. It's just it's a true privilege being on their team. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get into the deck. I already explained Mecha Frieza. I like going high drops to low drops. I know a lot of people don't do it that way, but that's how I do it. That's just how I organize my deck. So we're going to start off here. 4 Kale. Pretty self-explanatory. We'll get into some cards that work with this. Actually, I can just get them out right now. We'll just do the whole veggie package here. 4 Caulifla. And 4 Kaba. So anybody that played in the Mecha Frieza format knows what all these cards do. This searches for one of these two off the top 10. If you get Caulifla, you can play it for free. Caulifla takes a life and doesn't make you sack your guys for Kale. So they just all synergize very well. It also reduces Kaba also reduces the cost by 1. So like Caulifla's in your hand are -1 and Kale's in your hand are -1 for each one out. And another important thing is reduce specific costs. So if you have 2 Kabas out, your Kale costs 2 of anything, which is really important when you're playing a dual-color deck. Sometimes you need that green energy. You play Kaba, you don't have any more open, and you have 2 Kabas out. You can still play this with your extra yellow energy or other energies. So it's pretty important, but this is just the core package. It makes the deck run super solid. And you can, all those cards are Sagesh targets. Obviously, we'll get to Sagesh, but yeah, it's one of the key components of the deck. I ran 2 Gohan. The format slowed down a bit, and I wanted to play 2 Gohan in case I ran up against Cell chain decks, because like otherwise you don't have a way to kill off the 7-drop if they somehow get it out. It's unlikely that they get it out really early against you, so you usually have time to dig for this card. That's why I only play 2. And so if they can even get it out at all, because you're going to be running your Bloodlust, Bloodlusting the 3-drop more than likely, and then the 5-drop. So they would have to get around 3 Bloodlust, I guess. You'd have to draw less than 3 Bloodlust, I guess, for it to go off. But it's still nice to have, and in the later games, you can still play it as a removal spell on one of their cards. But it was mainly in here for sell. Didn't play any, so it might be a sideboard card in the future, but I just wasn't sure how much sell everybody played down there. We got 2 Terror Scythe Goku Blacks. I'm not a huge fan of this card. Like, it's okay. It's definitely good in certain situations. It just gives you a Sagesh target if you don't really have much else to Sagesh. But I tend to like save my Sageshes for Sagesh Goku and Sagesh Kale, because they're just the 2 most impactful cards. And I mean, this is a nice substitute if I need some more combo to like finish games, like at the end of the game to combo out, use Sageshes into play and try and get some extra combo, which is good for that. But a lot of times, like, you don't even need the extra combo. Like, if you just like comboed with the card, it like you get 10k more. But a lot of times that 10k didn't matter in the actual battle, at least in my testing, in scenarios I've been in. But it just is a nice defensive card. If you don't have one of the other ones, you can have some extra free combos on the defense if you have a Sagesh. But other than that, it's just a solid card. Nothing crazy. Like I said, it's just personal preference, really, I think. But it's okay as a 2 of. I probably wouldn't run more than 2. 2 Goten. Another card for sell. You Bloodlust the 3-drop, and then you can just attack and Goten it off the board. That's the most effective way to remove it. Because this deck doesn't awaken as fast as it used to. So sometimes you have to, like, you're not going to be able to Sagesh out a Kale or anything. So the only way to kill it is to play a Gohan or one of these. That's why I decided to run both of those. Again, didn't play any Cell, so this card really wasn't that great. But I do like it more than Gohan just because this removes the 3-drop, which is what you want to do. You don't want them to keep chaining up. You just waste too many Bloodlust that way. And it's much easier to remove the 3-drop with this card, and it's cheaper. Like 1 mana opposed to 4, and then you have to wait to 4. It's just, this card was much better, would be much better against Cell had I played against it, but I just wanted enough options there so I wouldn't get destroyed by the Cell chain. We got 4 Trunks, Bridges of the Future, just a solid 1-drop. This deck plays, like, I'm pretty sure almost all the targets are Saiyans. However, it feels like it's a light battle card count because you have to run so many extra cards. So this guy does miss, like, here and there. And usually what I did was I kept it in my opening, at least 1 or 2. Like, if I saw 2, I probably kept 2, but 1 or 2. And then, like, if I didn't see another green source, I would just charge it. That way I can play Kaba on 2. But then if I had other green sources I could charge, like Gohans or like Gotens or stuff like that, you know, I'd keep it, I'd just play it. And it definitely hit sometimes. Like, it's not like auto miss, but like it was, I say it was about 50-50 when I played it. Still a solid card though. Just, you know, I just rather be able to play my Kaba on turn 2 than play that and whiff and then not have another green source. First extra cards of the deck. 2 King Veggies Surprise Attack. I think this card's really, like, it's in the title. It's a very surprise card. It's good, and it's in here for the Apes matchup. Because if they ever attack your battle cards and they're in barrier mode, like if King Vegeta's giving them barrier, or if they attack their battle card with King Vegeta, which I don't think anybody's going to be doing that, just on the off chance I do play this card. But if they do, you can really blow them out of the water with this. It just kills their ape. And even if it kills one of their other apes, that's still fine. It killed something for 1 mana that was barrier. So you can't really complain. It was okay throughout the tournament. Not too many people attack battle cards anymore, so it's like, eh. But you have some blockers in the deck, so, I mean, you can use it that way. It just never came up. It's an okay card. Might move to the sideboard. Who knows? I didn't play any apes, so I think it shines in that matchup where apes does try and clear the board sometimes, and you can catch them off guard with it. And Mecha Frieza plays it for free, so it's probably fine as a 2 of. And we got 4 LeBron James Matthew Combs would be proud. But this guy really is LeBron James. Anyway, I have this in the deck. I'm just going to show the next card because it's important for the whole deck, how it functions. Sagash Goku combo. Everybody knows what it does. You play Sagash, you put out Goku, and you kill a tap battle card. It's just, most people play around it. It's just something you have to do now against yellow decks because they can just Sagash this out and kill your battle card as long as it's not like barriered or anything. As long as it's just a battle card without any effects, like barrier, indestructible. So you just play Sagash, bring it down, tap, kill their tap battle card that's attacking. It's really nice if your opponent doesn't play around it and they start like comboing in. Like it's just literally you just win the game for free because you just kill their card and then they can't do anything. But at high level play, nobody's gonna do that. It's just a really solid card, and then also it has blocker and barrier. So you get the initial kill off their battle card, and then you also get the block. So it's nice to do Nimbus, which we'll get to in a second. You can Nimbus, and then you can, the following attack, you can Sagash out Goku, and you can also block the next attack. It works if your opponent like attacks in a specific way. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but generally speaking, you can get that off. And I did that quite a few times. And it basically nullifies their turn, essentially, which is just amazing. You get to your next turn. You do lose quite a bit of hand to do it, but usually if you get a few more turns attacking with all your battle cards, you can win the game. So it's just really good to just stall out. Much more defensive deck than it was before. I like saving my Sagashes for Kales on the defense or Goku's on the defense. I'm okay with hard casting Kales for like 2 to 3 energy. It's just the way the deck works now. And you just save your Sagashes for Sagash Gokus to stop you from dying. Because you do still take a lot of life late game. Next card is some more extra cards. 3 Flying Nimbus. Just a solid card. I decided to run 3 because this deck can get a lot of pressure early on. So generally you don't need too many of these. You need like 1 or 2. But I just play 3 for consistency purposes. And yeah, it's a solid card. It's probably the best negate in the game right now, just the way certain decks work. Against the mirror match, you always like you kind of want 4 of these. I didn't side the 4th one for whatever reason. I just hate 1-ofs for whatever reason, but that card is really good. And 4th one would definitely be on the side if I was going to like a big event or something. But anyway, excuse me. We got 3 Crusher Balls here. Crusher Ball is really good against apes, just like Nimbuses, but like Crusher Ball is good on that turn where they March of the Apes, and you can just Crusher Ball both of them. It's basically like a double negate, and you only lose 1 card, which is really good. That's basically what I played it for. And I mean, even if you just stop 1 attack, it's probably the best like solo negate in the game because you stop so many like attack effects. Like if they kill you and you just Crusher Ball it, they don't get their draw if they were lower. Like all the attack on auto effects, they don't get those. So this card is really good in that aspect as well. And it's more cards for you to awaken with Frieza. You can play it early just to tap a little guy and then kill it with your attack. But you helps you awaken as well. So that's just an added benefit. We got 4 Cold Bloodlust. Probably one of my favorite cards in the game. I know I haven't done a video in a while, and I've already said that, but I just want to kind of talk about the rule change that happened to this, because nobody, like, I haven't done any videos on it or anything. I just think it was really, like, stupid. Like, they changed the rules of the game to nerf this card, and that's the only thing I can see. At this point, they might have something down the road that they needed to do that for, but I think they just made it way more complicated than it needed to be, and if they wanted to nerf this card, they could have just errated it. And it really annoys me that they didn't, because like I think this card is really powerful, and it could have deserved an errata, but it didn't deserve the whole rule change, because it just confuses everybody. It even confuses me still to this day, like certain interactions and how it works, because now like you have to ask like what timing things are, like certain timings. And I just think it's very convoluted. And it would have just been much better just to errata the card, make it have a cost if that's what they wanted, instead of just nerfing it. It's not a big nerf, but it's a slight nerf in certain matchups, like the Cell Chain, stuff like that, which I think the Cell Chain is pretty overpowered itself, so Nerfing Bloodlust in that series just didn't make sense to me, so maybe they have something else planned. Regardless, I don't like it. It's just how I feel. But anyway, Cold Bloodlust is still an amazing card. Everything else, it doesn't really change too much. It just changes a little bit of interactions where you can Cold Bloodlust things blindly, like with Sagesh. They have to Cold Bloodlust Sagesh, and you can put something else in play or not play anything. And I think that's another stupid thing. Like, just being able to Cold Bloodlust nothing, just to me seems stupid. But it is what it is. Cold Bloodlust is still a fantastic card. You need 4 of it in the deck. It helps you awaken. Just amazing. For Planet Vegeta. Fortunately, you cannot play this card for free now. It costs 1 yellow. But a lot of the times, it's just insanely good because you all your cards are Saiyans, and you can search for them when you need them. If I don't see a Kaba early on, if I don't see a Kaba in like my opening hand really, I can charge yellow and play this. And then I get my Kaba, and I can just play Kaba on 3, which is honestly how most Ginyu decks have to play. Because if they don't leave a yellow up against certain matchups, they just get blown out by like the Cell Chain or some other stuff. And they can't like prevent you from killing their board. So they need to have that yellow up and the Cold Bloodlust in hand. So they can't even do it till turn 3. So sometimes I'll go that route, play a little bit slower, go to 3, get my Kaba. But if I don't, then I can play this on 3 after I'm my board set up. Or I can even wait longer. It just depends on your hand. But searching out cards is amazing. And it searches out any card in my deck that I need. I'm pretty sure I can search every target in the deck, which is also crucial. If I need anything, if I need a Goku, a Sagesh, Terra Scythe for extra combo, any of the veggie package, you can search for it. Searching for Caulifla to awaken, also amazing. Anyway, just a solid card. I don't know if I need 4 of it, but like, it was good for me. Like, nothing in the deck was bad, except for probably Gohan and Goten, but that's just because like I didn't play the matchups they're good against. But it's still solid. And my Overwhelm cards are 2 Overseeing Time Trunks. Just a solid card, gets back Sagesh. It costs 2 mana, so it's a little steep. But the key part is as Double Strike. And Double Strike right now is kind of huge. Because that's how you try and win the game, essentially. And you're cut, like before we used to have a ton of Double Strikers in our deck. Like, so Double Strike was like nothing. But now Double Strike is actually kind of key because like in the actual main deck, that's the only Double Striker. Because we just cut a lot of Double Strikers that we used to play, like Super Saiyan Gotenks. Like in the blue decks, they play Beerus. Or the other Vegeta that kills a card on the 4-drop Raging Attacker. Just a bunch of removal spells that we don't play anymore that had Double Strike, and we just kind of played them. Now, Double Strike is really key, because it's one of the only ways we get Double Strike. So this is how I usually try and finish the game. You go Overseeing Time for a Sagesh or something, and you just go in. Or you grab back a Sagesh for defense, and you pressure them. Solid card. It was pretty impressive. I didn't know how I was going to like it at first, but it's just good in Sagesh decks, I feel like. I haven't really tested with too many other decks just because I like some other Overwhelm cards better than it. But it is an amazing card. I mean, it's just the 2 mana that gets me every time. But solid card. And then we got 2 Time Patrol Trunks, the last 2 cards in the deck. It's just a 3-cost Overwhelm card that helps me cycle. I really wanted to play Fu over this card, but in actuality, like 7 Overwhelm after I'm already playing 2 4 Overwhelm cards is just not something I could do. Like, I considered cutting one of them for Fu and then putting in something else for the other one, because I think just Double Strike is just so huge right now, and Fu is just an insane card as well. Lets you draw 2 for 1 mana. You just have to have the discard pile. And this deck does build a pretty big discard pile. It's just playing multiple Overwhelm threats. You don't have too many in your deck. You won't be able to play them. So, safely, the way I play the deck now, I can play both of these, and usually one of the Overseeing Time Trunks by the end of the game, if I see them. Usually fill up the discard pile quite well. But yeah, that was the whole main deck. Changes, I kind of went over it briefly. Some of these cards might go to the sideboard, like King Vegeta's Surprise Attack, Goten, Gohan. And I could add some different cards, maybe add in a Fu here, maybe cut the Time Patrols, add in a Fu or something. Because I just think Double Strike is really huge. But anyway, that's the start of it. Deck's super solid. Won't change too many things. Like I said, some of the cards just might move to the sideboard instead, but that's about it. We got the sideboard here. I ran 2 Mass Saiyans. The mirror match, really, just more like a kill effect, you know, kill up to 5 cards as long as they're not blockers. Mainly just for the Veggies package or hyper-aggressive decks. I sided in a few times. It also has double strike, so like you can even side it in just like I sided in sometimes just because I thought it was better than Time Patrol. If my opponent wasn't like, if I didn't see a lot of negates, because like if you get them down to double strike and they're not playing yellow, you can freely swing in and go all in, which is what I did against my buddy Zach in the last round of the event. No, Mass Saiyan is just amazing. Just no room in the main deck for it. Here's some more tech cards against Apes. I ran 3 Mira. Mira, I would just side in against Apes if I saw it. I think Apes is kind of a tough matchup for this deck. Not super tough, but like tough enough to where I need to dedicate some of my sideboard for it. Mainly SS3 Apes, because I think that's like the best Apes deck right now. But I think you just need this card to get through, and you can try and pressure them for game. This card combos with another card I had in my sideboard that I sided in quite often, even against non-ape decks, was 3 Furthering Destruction Champa. Champa's just like really good in anything right now, just because of the lack of double strike, like I've been talking about. So the key combos here is obviously you just attack with Mira. They can't block it. They don't have a negate if they already Nimbus or something, and then you just combo in on them and kill them from 2 life. That's your main goal, and I think you can do it. I didn't play against any apes, but I think it's a really good strategy against them, because chances are they're not going to be really play around it too much. And also a nice thing is you can actually hardcast this for 4 if you ever wanted to. That way you can attack with it and it stays on board. I don't know how good that would be, but either way you can also overwhelm it, which is what you'd probably do the majority of the time to catch them off guard. And yeah, just try and kill them that way. That seemed like the best way to kill apes. At least in this deck. And you can beat apes if you go, I think if you go first against apes, you're probably favored, but otherwise it's kind of tough against SS3 apes, because they're just so far ahead on mana, you can't really disrupt their board before they can get it too big of a board and destroy you. 3 Mafuba, another card for apes. I sideboarded this. I don't play any other blue, but I am Mecha Frieza, so on my weekend side I can play this and Mafuba their King Vegeta ape when they attack with it. Or just another barrier ape with blocker, because like removing blockers from the board is also good for a turn if I can pressure them enough to try and kill them. So, but this is mainly for the King Vegeta ape. And otherwise, I don't think I would really side this in because it is a steep cost. It's 2 blue. I mean, 1 blue, 1 anything, but it's still a blue energy, and I don't really run any blue in the deck right now. I also sideboard 2 Senzu Bean, and I'd side this whole package in together. That way, my first Mafuba usually would probably be energy. That way I can cast Senzu Bean, and I can cast this on my front side if we get to that point, if I can't awaken fast enough. But it just gives me 5 blue cards, so it doesn't, they're not just auto-dead. Like, this card's just auto-dead otherwise, unless I have a blue. So that's why I sideboard those. And Senzu Bean is just a solid defensive card as well. Helps me untap energy. Just a solid sideboard card. And then the last 2 sideboard cards are Battering Lasers. I also could side these in against apes. A lot of my sideboard is just apes because that's just what I've been playing against. And it's a really solid deck. And if they go first, it's really tough to win. So I wanted to try have some cards in the sideboard for that matchup. But yeah, that was the last card. Goku Black tokens. Thanks, Sawyer. Thanks, buddy. Anyway, so that was my deck profile. I went 3-1-1 in Swiss, and then we split in top 8. I think it was like 7 seed or something. Anything 3-1-1 or higher topped. No 3-2s topped. So it was actually a pretty clean cut. X1-1 top cut. But yeah, we split. I got an invitation to the Invitational in Dream Wizards in July, I think. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know the exact date or if there is one, but I'm pretty sure they said it was in July. So I'll probably hit that up as long as this one is Saturday, because I just don't do Sunday tournaments very well. Anyway, it'll be fun to go to that. Shout out again to my sponsors, Ultimate Guard. I don't have the other patches on me or anything else, but Super Collectibles and Metamats. Amazing sponsors. Glad to be a part of the Kitchen Table Meta team. It's just a real, great experience with all the guys. And yeah, so that's my deck profile. First one in a while. More to come, guys. Peace.